Hey everyone, welcome to another helmet ballistic test. I'm Mike B with my assistant and Canadian friend.
Devin K.
On the camera, we'll be alternating shooting. Today we've got a repeat test again. If you didn't watch the East German steel helmet test, the first time I did it, it did not perform well. And the last video that we made with a newer one did great. So we've discovered that different batches of steel and different years of manufacture, where they were made, factor into a helmet's particular protection level, I guess. And that's why we're doing this again. We're doing the Soviet SSh-68. These things have a reputation for being very strong. They're still being used in a lot of places in the world. And the last one that Devin K and I shot last year didn't even stop at 9mm. Didn't the 9 Makarov
It went
go
9
through?
Makarov went
Yeah,
through
the
it,
Makarov cracked it and went right through. That's what we knew. So we're going to test this one out. It's from a different batch. It's, I don't know what year it's from. But anyway, this one's kind of screwed. All these helmets that we're shooting have something wrong with them. So it's not like, you know, technically we're destroying a piece of history.
You can't sell it, so yeah.
But like, seriously, these tests are more valuable. Sacrificing one that's junk to show a lot of people what they're capable of stopping projectile-wise, we'll get into that in a second, is more valuable than this particular piece that I'm holding right now will probably ever be. So that's why we're doing this. And caveat is, I do know, and Devin knows, that these are not designed for direct hits, projectiles. They're designed for debris that's flying around, fragments that are, you know, from far away, stuff falling down.
Mostly bumping your head.
Yeah, bumping your head, yeah. So we understand that, but it's still fun and educational for us and whoever's watching to be able to see what they can stop. So that's why we're doing the tests. It's for educational purposes, and it's just kind of interesting to both of us. We're both helmet nerds, so. All right, we'll get started. I'll quit rambling. We're going to start out with the CZ50 pistol in 32 ACP, or 7.65 by 17mm, or 7.65 Browning, whatever you want to call it, the 32 ACP in the United States. And we're on these videos, we're going to be standing, we're really close, we're at about 5 yards, so it gets a little bit more velocity, and it's a pretty standard pistol defensive distance, so. Okay. So that was a good hit right on the front. Made a little dent, but it didn't penetrate. That's to be expected. And again, this is another slope design. It's not as drastic as like an East German or Romanian one, but so yeah, it did its job because it deflected up and out.
It's more of a dent than the M56 and the M73.
I'm aware. So we'll see. All right, we'll move on.
All right, so it passed the 7.62.
7.65.
7.65.
Mr.
Sorry.
Metric Lover.
7.65 by 17mm, 32 ACP round. So we're moving right up to the 9 by 18 Makarov out of the CZ82.
A little personal friend of mine. Yeah, the safety's on. Nice hit. Okay. So obviously what I talked about at the beginning of the video is definitely true. Man, that stripped a lot of copper off.
Copper washed it.
Damn. So okay, that was a perfect hit. You really couldn't ask for a better hit. 32 ACP, 9 by 18 Makarov. On the last one we shot last year, that metal must have been screwed up or something, because it definitely went right through and cracked it and whatever. So this is why we're doing this test again. All right, we'll move it right along. So now we're going to be moving up a little bit. We're going to be using the 9 by 19mm 115 grain full metal jacket out of the P08 Luger. I hit it right in the same spot.
Right in the same. Not as much copper wash on it though.
But hey, like, that's pretty cool, because this metal supposedly is supposed to be compromised at that point, that close. And it deflected it again.
The guy's still alive for sure.
Yeah, and it didn't even move it that much. That's really interesting. That's such a drastic difference from the one we did last year. Sorry about the angle of the sun and the wind. It's nature, we can't always control it. So, well, and
not with our power level.
We can control the where this is at, but this is the safest direction to shoot, factoring in the deflection and ricochets, because there are things around here we don't want to shoot. So, all right, moving on.
All right, so the 9 by 19 or 9mm Luger out of the Luger did not stop that, so we're gonna shoot it with a 45 ACP out of a Colt 1917 revolver.
230 grain full metal jacket. Try to hit to the right of those if you can. Nice hit. That was exactly to the right. So that's going to be a headache, but look at that. It glanced.
Didn't even dent as much as the 9.
Nope, but it took more paint off.
It certainly did.
And that jacket got stripped off in the lead, but I mean,
It's still living.
This is and the dents really aren't that big.
See, this is everything that I heard about all this Soviet engineering.
Yeah.
This is what I expected.
So I guess that must have been the case. Is that other one?
Just a brittle batch of steel.
Or
yeah.
it went through a fire or something, or some weird crazy shit. All right, we'll move along. Oh, we're rolling. Okay, yeah. So I guess that's going in the video. Yeah. So now we've got the 7.62 by 25 millimeter Tokarev 85 grain full metal jacket, Polish surplus from the 50s. This is one of those rounds where it really determines when you get to this level of deflection and defeating the projectiles. This is one that really stands to kind of grade and judge the quality and protection level of the certain steel helmet. There's only been 2 helmets so far up to this point that have actually stopped a 7.62 Tokarev.
That are steel.
Yeah, that are steel. That I mean, gotta make that very clear. The Bulgarian M71 and the East German M56-76, the second video we did. The first one, it didn't stop it at all. So that's again why we're shooting this. Of course, the last SSh-68 didn't stop this round, but I'm very curious, so. Okay.
That's expected, though.
Yeah, this is not like a disappointment, because this round is basically the gold standard for body armor nowadays.
It's hot, yeah. That's like until the 5.7, the like FN 5.7 was made. That's what body armor was designed to stop, and most helmets are not designed to stop that.
And especially even a lot of Kevlar helmets
aren't designed to stop that.
Yeah, they won't defeat this. So this is not a big deal. Now we're going to actually go to a little bit bigger round, and we'll see if it deflects that, because there's been helmets that have stopped this, or no, stopped the 357 but didn't stop this. So we'll see.
All right, so the Tokarev went through, which was kind of expected. That's kind of what separates the men from the boys. But this is going to be something that's not moving anywhere near as fast. A little bit more of an energy transfer. This is a 142 grain full metal jacket, 357 Magnum cartridge.
Well, it actually is moving fairly similarly in speed. It's just a bigger,
Out of the Ruger GP 100.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty. Yep. I mean, we're actually doing pretty well in shooting today, unlike last year. So you can't really bitch about our marksmanship. So, yeah, that's 357 and 7.62 Tokarev. Those are rounds that, I mean, even if you do get hit and it defeats it, your brain is going to be mush.
Well, some of the 357s right there.
Yeah, the frag. Yep. Now, that's awesome. Okay, so I guess it performed basically like you'd expect a steel helmet to perform.
Yeah, it did everything it was meant to do from the factory and by its design.
Yep.
And the 2 rounds that we have well, 3 technically, because it's not meant to stop 45 either. On paper, they're only supposed to stop 9x19.
Huh. Well, it definitely did its job. So yeah, cool. We'll film the outro. All right. So in conclusion, we'll keep this rather short. You guys saw the same thing we did. It's okay. It's not a terrible design, terrible helmet itself. It did what it was supposed to do and a little bit more. So cool beans. Decent design.
Yeah, if you owned one of these when you bought them way back when they were way cheaper years ago, you're probably feeling pretty confident now.
Yeah. Okay, so, but again, I want to reiterate that this is a different batch of steel, different production date, of course, probably different factory where it was made, and that makes all the difference in these, even though this is a repeat. So, who knows, maybe someday we'll do another one just to confirm. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
Fair.
But anyway, good helmet. I think it's a cool design. They're pretty common in the world. They're still being used in a lot of places. So, thank you for watching. If you want to consider supporting the channel financially, the link to my Patreon is in the description. It helps us fund gas money to get out to the training facility we're at, and getting helmets themselves, getting ammunition and all that stuff. Helmets aren't cheap. We want to start doing body armor tests too, which is
really expensive.
Yeah. And we can fund our channels out of pocket to a point, but because of Patreon and crowdfunding, we're able to do cooler stuff like this that costs more money for educational purposes. So if you want to consider doing that, and then check out Devin K's channel. He's got a Patreon as well. He does other things that I don't do, things that I don't know about, so you can learn a lot from him. If you can't support the channels financially, your viewership is good and your interaction's good, for me at least, and I think Devin appreciates it too, right?
I certainly do.
Yeah, it's totally fine, I get that, but just make sure you hit the like button, because that actually does matter in the algorithms. And yeah, let me know what you think. Again, I thought it did what it was supposed to do. Nothing good, nothing bad. It was just an ordinary steel helmet. So, ordinary, decent steel helmet. So, all right, thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next helmet ballistic test video.